The bonus features as listed are deleted scene. Important that it says scene.
Wait, it says scene?
It does. It says scene.
Oh, okay. The interface on the disc itself does not. It just says deleted scenes, and there's literally only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animation progression reels, concept art reel, and feature commentary with director/co-writer Cal Brunker and producer/co-writer Bob Barlin.
Yes, you will be hearing a lot of Carl Brunker talk in this episode.
Hey, I'm Cal Brunker, the director and one of the writers on the Nut Job 2.
We've got more than we can chew with Carl Brunker here.
Cal Brunker, sir.
God damn it. Cal as in Cal Arts, as in animation. Silly me.
Cal Brunker, in the behind-the-scenes or director's commentary or something, describes the idea that the movie can't have violence in it.
You have to create these exciting moments that feel dangerous to your characters without anybody really ever hitting anybody else, because you want to keep the violence in check. It's a family film. You don't want it to be off-putting.
Oh, come on.
And that he, made sure that no one gets, punched or kicked or anything outside of,
Loser. Nerd.
Yeah.
Velvet.
Because he explains that the villain, I guess originally, or it was thrown around, but, he would, smack the main character around at the end.
Smack him in the nuts.
So the hot air balloon fight coming up is another example of us trying to create an exciting, dangerous situation for our main character where there isn't real kind of punching and kicking violence. And so we came up with this idea of the mayor could actually fight and threaten Surly simply by stomping on this balloon.
And you just explain that was done just to make sure there's no violence. And it's just
it's
weird.
A PG movie. You can have violence.
Yeah, it's cartoon violence. What?
And it's the funny thing is I feel like some of the violence isn't directly perpetrated from one character to another often, but when there is smacks and pratfalls and stuff, I feel like that's pretty well executed. So it's weird that they strayed away from that.
Yeah, no, it is strange, and I don't know. I feel like it just kind of makes the movie. Is one of the elements that makes the movie less funny to me. There's a couple really good.
There needs to be more slapstick.
Bits, not much.
Yeah.
Peter Stormare apparently saw that his name was Gunther in the screenplay and practiced a German accent, and then the director said, "No, I just want you to sound like you, dude," and made him not do it.
Well, maybe you should have given him a Scandinavian name then, and not a German one.
Yeah. It was just funny because Cal describes the fact that he was like, "Oh, I just want everyone to sound like themselves. That's why I hired them."
For us, we always, we cast actors because we want to hear their unique voices, not generally them putting on an accent as somebody else. So we said, no, don't do the German accent. So he said, okay, no accent.
It's what?
Yeah, that's not the point of voice acting at all.
Yeah, Billy West plays 70% of the cast in Futurama. They didn't hire him because he sounds how he normally does. Her dog, Frank, the French Bulldog, sees Precious. They do, once again, the most basic music drop humanly possible.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, at last, my love has come along.
Yeah, and they do the slow-mo shot, and, it's all serviceable stuff, but just the most basic, possible.
The director was just gushing about how excited he was to have gotten the license for that song.
The first time we put this together in editorial, I love this song, and I was like, you got to use that. It's got to be one of those moments. And luckily enough, we were able to get the rights for this song and keep it all the way into the final movie.
It's dude, you picked the most generic thing that's in every one of those scenes where two people meet each other for the first time and they fall in love. That's in every scene like that.
It's either that or it's Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On."
Yep.
Yes.
Or it's there's some other ones, but
those are the two most common.
Yeah, it's always a handful of 3 songs.
It helped a lot that when we tested the film for the first time, that song was in it, and the audience reacted really positively to this scene, and after that, nobody wanted to change it. So I love it. I'm so happy it's in the movie.
Stupid.
There's a kind of a funny little interaction where his owner, the just horrifying little girl, she like, just says, like, hop on one leg and, like, do all this weird stuff, and, gets his treat, and then she tries to do it with Precious, and Precious is not trained to do anything, and she becomes a completely still wooden, like, object, basically just tips over when told to roll over, and it's a pretty good little, like, gag. And a pretty good, like, character thing where he doesn't even think of it as being, like, bad. But then when he sees that she can't do it, he's like, oh, no. You're screwed.
That's one of, like, the 2-second gags that happens in the movie that in the commentary track springs the director into talking for, like, 10 minutes about the anatomy of the gag.
All of these arguably more important scenes he's just talking over.
If you watch the animation on Precious here, as she falls over, she completely freezes right there. Nothing moves her.
It's like,
we'll get to a really good one of those during the climax.
We can talk about the deleted scene that goes here.
Now we're going to take a look at a deleted scene. This originally went right after Buddy falls off the mayor's balcony, and in the scene, Surly and Precious run down to see if he's okay.
And I wouldn't think too much about it, but the director in both the intro to the one deleted scene, which he felt very necessary to record, and in the commentary also belabored to a point of just nausea. He's talking about like how the scene replays the same beat of the scene after it, where they just check to see if he's okay.
But when we got this back into the editing room, we realized we were playing the same story beat twice. When we got that into the edit, we realized it was a repeated beat and not something that we needed. So,
but it, like, between the intro and the commentary track, the director must talk about like this very non-consequential deleted scene that wasn't even finalized with animation for like 10 minutes.
And so we love the camera work, we love the animation, but
we weren't doing our job as storytellers by repeating the same beat twice.
And I kind of understand what he's talking about, but like,
it makes sense. Like, as a director, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to, streamline it, make sure there's no repetition. But, like, to just just repeat
the fact that he was so hung up on it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's not that big a deal. You cut it. You got rid of it.
Yeah, he talks about it like it's one of the great failures of his life.
that he ever included it to begin with.
Yeah. It's just
he's talking
like,
about how he's failed on every level as a filmmaker and that he's ashamed of himself.
Even though it's like 15 seconds of incomplete animation.
Yeah, it's not even, the lighting rig hasn't even been applied. There's this really unfunny bit where the pest control guys roll in and one of them misparks.
Oh, yes.
And then the other one's like, you gotta repark. And that was... Ugh.
And then it's like a wide shot from a bird's eye view of the guy rearranging and readjusting and doing it like 5 times until he finally gets in the correct way in the parking spot.
Cal is very proud of that joke.
He was very proud.
This joke was one that we liked from very early on, and we supported it in sound design and animation and camera, where
we start a lot in the toughest, most aggressive possible way, and because it's really working bad job.
When the guy says, nobody likes a parking hog, and we watch him kind of bumble through parking this car, and it takes him 10 tries of backing back and forth before he gets in there, before obviously kicking back into gear and having the
It's very Family Guy-esque.
It is.
That was a Family Guy joke.
Yeah, it was. But the guy says like no one likes a parking hog, which I don't know if I've ever heard that exact terminology before.
What does that
made
even
it
mean?
even weirder.
I guess because
he was
he
in
like
two
parked in
spots.
two
Double
spaces.
parking.
The mayor's about to be arrested, but then he is in a cliche that is really like specific, but I've seen it in a bunch of other movies. He tries to escape via air balloon.
Yes.
Hot air balloon.
I just want to note that in the director's commentary, Cal describes the fact that originally it said the hot air balloon said Cal's used cars, but that made him uncomfortable. And then he switched it to somebody else on the cruise's name without asking them.
Our art department put Cal's used cars on the balloon when they first did it, and I was insecure enough about it, and Bob wasn't in the meeting, so I had them change it.
Yeah. And then it was too late to change it back.
Yeah, he specifically changed it to where they couldn't change it back because it was too late in production.
What? Why would that make you uncomfortable?
Right? He felt insecure. And I'm like, dude, what? Why?
It's the most Melvin thing I've ever heard.
What? And then he fucked over some other guy who was never even asked.
Yeah.
Or knew about it. It just happened and it was too late to fix it, and it was like, oh, okay. And I believe it was his creative partner,
I think it was Bob,
the producer, who was
Bob Barlin, his co-writer,
supposedly doing the other half of the commentary, but you never actually hear him talk because Cal just won't stop talking.
Bob talks twice, I think, maybe 3 times the whole go.
That's like if Pixar got gun shy and removed A113 from all of their movies. It's so strange.
Yeah, no, it's just a cutesy reference. I don't know why you would be like, oh no, I can't deal with this, and I have to do a plot to change it to where they can't change it back. He was so worried about it, but it's what is there to be worried about?
Dude, that's just a thing directors do because it's fun to have cameos like that.
Yeah, Easter eggs is one of the most fun things that you can do as a director, is you just put in little inside references that don't mean anything in the movie, but if you're in the know, you know.
It's not going to mean anything to anyone who doesn't know you, so why is it a problem?
The other thing about what Cal says in the director's commentary about the scene is
we also wanted to see humans doing good. This isn't animals versus humans movie. This is these animals versus this corrupt mayor.
It's
dude, what?
Commit to something.
I don't know why he had an issue with that.
And then we'll just go over any remaining thoughts we have on the director's commentary. I know we've already spoken about it a lot.
It was hard not to, just because it has so much content. Yeah. He definitely gave a lot of insight. He kind of just systematically broke down the process of making an animated movie, which I found to be a little much after a while. I don't know. I guess I feel like I would have enjoyed him just telling more stories or referencing specific moments or characters in the movie. We talked about it before, but he frequently just kind of goes on tangents and doesn't talk about important beats and scenes in the film. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. One of the key moments of the film that Cal just talks over super hard is during the climax when all this important stuff is happening. He lingers on discussing this 3D popcorn shot for 7 minutes.
One of the executives really wanted a 3D popcorn shot where kind of popcorn shoots out into the audience.
And he was like, oh, I gotta integrate that into my story. I gotta make this the best popcorn shot possible. And he put it somewhere else in the movie and then decided, no, that's not good enough.
From a story perspective, we really wanted to create a problem for the characters at that point, which is they don't have food. And so we felt that showing food fly out into the audience and rain down all around them wasn't the right thing.
And I just the thought process on that.
Well, yeah, and as he was talking about this popcorn diatribe, what's happening in the movie at that point is the reconciliation of Frankie and Precious's relationship, which I thought was one of the cuter, more important moments with the characters, and he just doesn't mention it at all.
Not everyone is cut out to do a one-man booth on a commentary track. Not everyone is Lee Winnell, who does very good work on those.
Factoids straight away. I just started hitting you with facts and interesting tidbits. No meandering introduction on this commentary.
Cal's clearly very passionate about this, but I feel like he just put emphasis on the wrong things.
Passion, but no charisma, personally. I can respect the hustle as a director and the maintaining a creative vision and trying to make the best product and everything, but it's just not spoken about with much levity
Gusto.
or
The guy just comes off like a Melvin, as mentioned before. I don't even mean that to crap on him. He seems like a nice guy, and he seems to love animation. It's just he comes off like he's such a fucking nerd, and like it's just funny sometimes.
Yeah, that's animation, man.
Yeah, especially because he's not like a traditional director. He's just a storyboard guy who recently has been writing projects and directed this and one other thing, but. And Escape from Planet Earth is abysmal. So I'm glad that he got to do this, and he seems to be just working on. When I looked him up, he seems to be like co-writing like every cheapo Canadian animated release going forward.
Hell yeah!
So good for him.
That's aspirational. That rocks.